Healing gets deeper when you stop running from God and you start being real with Him. You don't got to be fixed to have faith. You just got to be honest. Here in stage 4, we're going to talk about a reconnection, right? Or reconnecting to a higher power. Now, this stage 4, this isn't about a religion point. This is about a connection point. This is about connecting to something higher than yourself. And I believe it's very important in the whole healing journey process. I got a bunch of notes, a bunch of things I wrote down. The video's not going to take too long, but like I said, I like to write down thoughts. So as I was going through this throughout this whole series that I'm doing, a lot spoke to me. A lot spoke to me through my journey and also in the other videos like I have presented with you guys. I wanted to bring you guys not just personal experience, but also tools that I learned that you can use, tools from my therapy sessions, things that I read, psychology classes that I have taken now for the school that I'm going to. So it's a lot. But one thing that's kind of fascinating, right, where it talks about, like I said, this isn't about religion, it's about a connection. When you've been through some deep grief, loss, and trauma, it will shake you. It will shake your identity. It will rock you to the core, right? And as it rocks you to the core, then you start to detach and kind of like, escape certain things. And as you do that, the disconnection comes, you disconnect from everything. And that's including God. It's including your higher power. And like I said, this video isn't about Christianity. It's not about Muslim. It's not about a religion point. I'm against all that religion stuff. It's about connecting to something higher. Even in therapy sessions that I've been to, one of the first questions they've always asked me was, do I have a higher power? Do I believe in a spiritual sense? Do I believe in God, or whatever the case may be? Have I tried to connect with that? Have I tried to, gone back into that? And of course, I shared with them my feelings behind it, but it's something that kind of like, it talked to me in the middle of that healing journey, in the middle of that session that I was going through. So stage 4 is very important too, just like all the other stages. But this one right here will kind of, bring you into a balance, right? So if we look at some therapy insights, why does this stage matter? Why is it, right? It says spiritual integrated therapy shows that people who reconnect with a higher power during trauma recover, often build purpose and inner peace faster. So when you look outside of yourself and you go to that higher power, you kind of start realigning certain things and things start coming back, and it's kind of like right here, when trauma hits people, people often feel abandoned by God. But healing can begin when you allow space for raw, honest connection again. And you don't have to pray perfect prayers. You just got to start a conversation. I grew up in a very religious family. I grew up very religious. You start hearing what I call the church talking. You got to say this. You got to say it the right way. Our Father, who art in heaven, da-da-da-da-da, right? But the thing is that, like what I teach my kids, and I found that belief for a while now. When you talk to God, I talk to God like I'm talking to you. I talk to God like, hey, what's going on? What's happening? And be real with Him. That's why I start off in the beginning saying that, right? Deep healing happens when you stop running from God and you start being honest with Him. You start being real with Him. And it doesn't take too much faith. Even the Bible says that if you have enough faith as the size of a mustard seed, you can tell that mountain to move and the mountain will move. That mountain could be your grief. That mountain could be your loss. It could be your trauma, right? So therapists also say that spiritual connection, it doesn't erase the pain. It just gives you a place to rest. So the spiritual connection, right? We're not praying to a genie or, like I tell my kids as well, we're not rubbing a lamp. It's not going to automatically take away what you're feeling or take away that pain. But you start finding some type of sense. You start finding some type of peace. And you start, going through that through this whole healing journey. So once again, this isn't about the religion side of it. This is about finding a peace and about finding a connection, because whenever these griefs happen in your life, the grief, the loss, the trauma, divorce, lost a job, lost a house, you lost this, you lost that, there's not like a quick, easy fix to it. So it's not about fixing it. It's about expressing that pain to this higher power and finding that peace and being real, authentic with it, right? So what can help out? A lot of things can help out. A lot of things you can do. You can write a letter to God. Express your emotions. Express your pain. You know, some people like to write. If you don't like to write, then go outside and talk. If you don't like to talk, but just find that way. And these are things that if you applicate them, if that's the right word, into your healing journey, you'll start seeing things. This is a process, guys. This is something that has to happen for you to go through this journey and be successful at the end of the journey, right? You can revisit some scriptures if you read the Bible, Quran, whatever the case is. Read the scriptures, right, that bring peace. Now, it's not to fix yourself, but it's to reconnect you to your foundation, to reconnect you back to that foundation. When everything happened between me and my son, I kind of lost footing. And I'd lost my footing even before that. It was for a while. But what really broke the camel's back was when my son passed. So I found myself back in the scriptures. I found myself reading certain Bible verses. I found myself reconnecting with the foundation that I grew up in, but instead of on the religious side of looking at it, it was more the relationship side of it in this stage I was at, right? So you don't need a church service. You say that. You don't need a church service. You don't need a church service. You just need a safe place where you can talk to God. You can talk to God in your house. You can talk to God in the bathroom. God is omnipotent. God is everywhere. Omnipresence, right? You can talk to Him in any stage, any place. It doesn't matter. When you start opening up and you start being real with God and you start reconnecting to that higher power, the peace will start coming in. The peace will start to settle in. It's not fixing the pain. It's not fixing the grief. It's not fixing the loss, but you're slowly getting to that process where you can be able to, let's say, functionality, be able to do what you was doing before, still hurt, still broken, still limping. I told my kids that, and I told a lot of friends that I had that after my son passed away, I'm still limping. I'm still going. But you gotta keep moving forward, right? So we have that. And also, you know, what does it say here? It's just reminding you guys that healing doesn't require perfect faith. It's just an open heart. Healing doesn't require some type of special, you know, process to it or anything like that, even though I'm going through these stages, because it's something that I found myself in, and this is my calling to do this with you guys. Just remember that. It's slow and it's steady, but as my younger son tells me, you know, the turtle wins the race, and whatever else he says to me. But I want you guys to be reminded of that. I want you guys to be reminded that you're not alone in this healing process. You are not alone. I am here to walk with you through this journey. I am here to be with you through your loss, through your grief, through whatever the case may be. A lot of people don't have insurance. A lot of people don't have the medication, whatever the case is, to get that professional type of help that might be needed. So this is why I'm here. This is why I'm doing this, to be able to help along and give you the insights and the tools through my experience, also through what I have researched, also through the classes and everything else, to be able to present this to you. So yet again, stage 4, we talked about reconnecting to a higher power. Whatever the case is, reconnect to that higher power. If this resonates with you, I don't want you guys to miss out on stage 5, which is going to be the next video coming up. Subscribe, drop in your comments, your likes, your stories, your testimonies. Tell me what you have been through, what's brought you out. That's going to help me as well throughout my journey, and I'm still in. So let's help one another through this together. All right? Like, subscribe, stay tuned for stage 5. It should be coming up very soon. And here we are. Spoken Truth Revival with fear, and after faith, pain, hurt, and all that. All words are in the middle. God bless you guys.